Go away. Why is that still there? No, not playing nice with me. Okay, move on. Let's do this. We're looking for normal distribution style questions. Let's see. Yeah, that could be one. The correlation coefficient of the above scatter plot is closest to, firstly, is it positive or negative? Negative, and then is it closer to 1 or 0.5? 1 would have been like this, just so you can see it. Closer to that. 0.9 would have been like this even. There you go. Like just a little bit off. But that is actually negative 0.5. Because there's these guys here. There's some that are very far away from a straight line. We're okay with that? Move down. That's part of depreciation. That's part of time. Dividends. Error. From year 11. That's networks. Area. Networks. Simultaneous equations, which we'll do once we do that topic. Keep going. Area, capacity, blood alcohol. You see what I mean by it's good to learn to filter out. Financial, trig, bearing. Line of best fit. Yes, that's part of this topic. Let's do it. A group of 14 children were tested on their coordination skills and the results are shown on the scatter plot below. Looks very fancy. Anika's line is the top line and David's line is the bottom line. David's line starts here, so that's David at 24, whereas Anika starts at 20. Are we okay with that? Scroll down. Explain why Anika's line is a better line of best fit. Okay, explain why Anika's line is a better line of best fit than David's line. Good question. Imagine there's all these dots, right? We're trying to find a line that represents these dots as best as we can. Obviously, just so you know, if we connected the dots, you're never going to get a line. Right? So the idea is we're trying to create the line of best fits the data. The line that best fits the data. So which one would you say lies the best? Well, it's saying Anika, and then you just got to answer the why part.
Because she connects to the first and last point.
That's a good point. Not necessarily all the time. From what I just drew in orange, her one probably goes through most points, more points, however you want to say it. So it's a bit more accurate. Are we happy with that? Do I need to write that? No, that's okay. 1 mark. Explain why Anika's line is a better line of best fit. It goes through more points. Give the equation of Anika's line. What's the equation of a line? Y equals mx plus b plus c, however you're used to it by now. Can you tell me what M stands for? Gradient. Can you tell me what B stands for? Y-intercept. So we go up to Anika's line. What's the y-intercept of Anika's line? 20. So we already got 1 mark for that. I've got to make sure that you guys can at least steal these easy marks. Something x plus 20. Are we comfortable with that? All right, gradient. There's 2 ways of finding gradient. Rise over run is one of them. I'm just going to go up here. Rise over run. What's the other one? Over? It actually doesn't matter the order. You could have said y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. It doesn't matter. Just so you know. All good? So either one you could have chosen. Let's choose Anika's line. Let's go and highlight it for a second, just so it's a bit easier for us all to see. There it is. Pick any 2 points on this. I'm going to pick, I like that one. And I like that one. Okay, I found my two. This is me. You don't have to choose these ones, but I think they're the best ones to find. So let's choose a different color. That one there, which is specifically on that line, which is what, 34? Right? You just got to trust me. 34. And then this one up here. So this one and this one. That one again is specifically on 55. Because then we're not guessing. We're not going to go, hey, yeah, let's choose this number here, which it is actually. That lies on that. That's 47 or whatever. It's a better one. It's more easier to identify. And I'm just going to do a simple rise over run. There's my right angle triangle. What's my rise from 55 to 34? 21. What's my run from 10 to 4? 6. And then there's one little flaw in rise over run. What's that? What's the little problem that rise over run has? Good to know it. No? Am I coming to you? You've got to always check its slope. So rise over run will always be positive. Rise over run will always be positive. But if this thing was sloped to the left, what should my answer be? Technically negative 21 over 6. So it's got that little flaw where you've got to always, just before you finish it off, just check its slope. If it's sloped to the right, you would keep it as positive. If it's sloped to the left, you've got to make sure it becomes a negative. But rise and run should actually always be positive because you only rise positively, you only run positively. So the answer is 21 over 6, I think we said. 21 over 6, x plus 20. You can write it as a decimal, you can leave it whatever you like. Happy with that? Easy. We can get 3 marks. Good. Let's move on. Can we start realizing, because I think the advanced kids are starting to realize this now, can you start realizing where all of your math comes into play now? Like you don't have to, where year 11 you had to isolate topics. In year 12 now, especially as you're coming closer and closer to your trials and then your HSC, don't isolate anymore. Bring it all together. So like this y equals mx plus b has nothing to do with this topic at all. It's just equation work or algebra work or year 10, whatever you wanted to call it, linear functions. Bring that stuff in. Don't bring scatter plots and normal distributions and bivariate data, fancy words. Don't worry about that. Okay, move forward. I think we'll do this because why not? Even though it's not bivariate, it's single variable. It's only on scores of, Sam recorded the scores of, it's always Sam. Sam recorded the scores of 25 footballers who each took 50 shots at a goal. So 25 different footballers who each took 50 shots at a goal. The cumulative frequency graph displays the results. So 50 shots at goal, if they hit 24, that was a frequency of 8. If they shot 28, that's 14, which means there was a frequency of 6. We're talking about frequency. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page. 32. Did you say 5? Thank you. I'm just going to accept your answers. I'm not double checking it. 36, 23. So from 19, that looks like a frequency of 4. And this one's a frequency of 2. So only 2 people were able to score 40. Or between 40 anyways, but that's okay. All right, the cumulative frequency graph displays the results. Use the graph to estimate the median number of goals scored. What does the word median mean to you? Middle. Now there's a few ways of doing that, but for cumulative frequency, does anyone remember how to do it for this graph? You add them up and find the middle. No. Yes, actually, you find the middle of this side. So that's 25. What's halfway of 25? 12 and a half. So 12 and a half is somewhere there. Then you go to the side. Or you go across. What number do you touch? You touch this particular column. So what's your median? 28. let's see if it makes, let's see if it's true, just by, if you guys can keep up with what I'm about to say here. You guys said median is the middle, cross them out, let's say lowest to highest. That's your usual thinking. All right, frequency is 8, right? So you got to imagine 24 8s. Then you're going to imagine 6 26s. Then you're going to imagine 5 32s. Then you're going to imagine 4 36s. Then you've got to imagine 2 40s. 1, 2. You would have started crossing out, yeah, until you get to the middle. Let's see if we can do that without actually crossing out so much. So 2 from here, 2 from here. How many is left? 6, because there was 8 altogether. I'll take off this 6. Well, sorry, start from the end. I'll take off this, which was 4 of them. I'll take off 4 from here. There's still 2 left. There's 5 of these guys. I'll take 2 away from here. 5 take away 2. There's going to be 3 left here. There's still 8 left here. By the time I take away 3 from here, there's going to be 5 26s left. Or 28s left. Did I say 26? You know what I meant. 28. So the answer is 28. 2 different ways, but obviously nobody does that second way. I'm just showing you something that you are already very familiar with. You should always do it through the column, your axis. Okay. I don't know if they're going to ask. They're not. So I just want to talk about that one more time. So this is our median point, Q2, median. How do I find Q1? So if I just said median, which is your second quartile, just get 25 divided by 2, 12 and a half. How would I find Q1? The first quartile. Divided by 2 again. All right. Like I said, remember, don't do what you're doing in year 11 anymore. You're in year 12 now. Everything comes into play. Just do it. It's not going to be that bad. So half of 12 and a half is about 6 point something. So we're looking around there, right there. Yeah, I know it. Q1. That's Q1. How would I find Q3? Q1 plus Q2. That's the easiest way. Do 25% plus 50%. That will give you 75%. So Q1 plus Q2, 6 plus 12 is about 18, 16, 17, 18 point something. We're looking around here. That's Q3. How do I find IQR? Q3 minus Q1. You can see there's enough information to be able to do that 100% in your trial HSC. Okay, so be ready for that. Move on. Calculate the mean number of goals scored. Well, the mean is average. Just go 24 8 times, 28 6 times, 32 5 times, 36 4 times, 40 2 times, then divided by 25. There's 25 numbers altogether. Is that okay? We'll be okay with mean, right? What percentage of players scored 37 goals or more? 37. Yep, 37. Okay. How would you work out 37, Sam, without a polygon? Unless you're meant to draw the polygon. How many marks? 1 mark. Unless it's a trick question, it's just at 40. Do I want to get this wrong for you guys? I don't. Let's check. What school we said? St. George Girls High School. What question number? 27. Three students scored 37 or more, 3 out of 25. Interesting. go back and let's think for a second. 2 students scored here. Why are they saying 4 students? There was a frequency of 4. How would you have known that? 20, 21, 22 to 23. Yeah. The only way is through a polygon. Yeah, that's the only way, right? Because then you can tell if I go up from 37 that that's at 22, and then at 38 there's just 1 extra person. Yeah. Okay. A little bit trickier. That's okay. So once you draw your polygon, this ogive, sometimes you guys have called it. If you look at 37, you scroll up, you'll see that would meet this line at 22. 38, which is where it ends, is at 23. So that's 1 person there. So 1 person scored from 37 to 38, or above 37, which is obviously 38. And then there's 2 people that would have scored. So 1, 2 people that would have scored from any number from 38 to 42. So 3 people altogether. And then percentage will be 3 out of 25. The players with the top 76% of scores go through to the next round of shots. What score was needed to go through to the next round? Okay, so we got to work out either top 76%, right? Let's just talk about that one more time. I like this question. I like it because, well, 1, it's a higher than standard level. It's a more of a selective high school exam, which is what these guys are, St. George Girls. But at the same time, it takes what you already know and just applies it at just that little bit higher, which is the trial HSC level. HSC level won't be like that. HSC is usually a little bit easier. So the trials are a little bit harder. And this is exactly where you probably want to be at. So good question anyways. Top 76%. Okay, we talked about Q1, Q2, Q3. We said those are 25%, 50%, 75%. So if I go to Q1, technically, which is somewhere there by our estimation, that is the top 75%. Do we understand that? Wait, make sure. What did I just say? That, if I go across, that's at 25%. So anything after that would be the top 75%. Or if I do it the opposite way, if that's Q3, just go across, let's just say it's here. Anything above that is the top 25%, whereas anything below that is the bottom 75%. We're all okay with that? Okay, we need to find the 76th percentile. Okay, well, there's 2 ways of doing it. Let's find the bottom 23%. 20, if you know how to count. Bottom 24%, right? So the bottom 24% would be the, I guess, again, it's up to you how you think about this, but I would probably say, look, 25 equals 100%. You guys said, right? Do we agree with that? You guys said 50%. You're like, oh yeah, Sam, just divide that by 2. We got 12.5, which was Q2. Then I said, how do I find Q1? You said divided by 2 again. All right, all well and good for those numbers. When it's 76%, how are you going to get from 100% to 76? Not as easy. But what you'll do is divide the 25 by 100. Maybe some of you already know what I'm doing. We got it to the number 1. Then we're going to times that by Well, yeah, if you wanted that, I'm going to do the bottom 24. So I'm going to times it by 24. So what's 25 over 100 times 24? 6? 6? Good. So 6 equals to the bottom 24%, which in other words is the top 76%. So we're looking for the number 6. Where's the number 6? Right there. So right there is 6. Which we kind of know because we just worked out ourselves Q1 was 6.25. So a bit under it kind of makes sense. Go across, touches the line right there. What score is it? 25. You needed to get above 25 to be in the top 76%. What score was needed? 25 and above. Should we do one more of those cumulative frequency deciles, they're called? They're not called percentiles because decimals, 1, 2, 3. Should we do one more of those? Okay. Let's see if we can find it. We'll stop the recording of this while I